There is no trip to Japan without a trip to the mall. Heed my words. So I get a lot of questions about shopping in Japan, where to buy clothes, where to buy makeup, just shopping. So I want to kind of do a general overview video about shopping overall, and then in the second half we're going to move into more talking about clothes and cosmetics, that kind of thing. So I have a lot of stuff to cover. So let's go into it. Tax-free. If you're a tourist, good for you. I don't get it because I live here. So of course you need to bring your passport everywhere because like many countries, Japan does participate in tax-free shopping for tourists. And consumption tax in Japan is 10%, so this adds up to a lot. So not all stores in Japan have this, but a lot of them do. They'll probably have a sign somewhere, especially in the touristy areas. So right now you usually get the discount pretty immediately, and it's usually on purchases of over 5,000 yen or more, which is about like 40 USD. So you either get your money back right now right at the register, or they have like some special counter like in the mall or something you go to. And this is still valid until November 2026, which is only a year from now. So if your trip's before that, no need to worry, it's gonna work like I just said it will. However, if you're coming from November 2026 onwards, the system is kind of getting an overhaul. So stores will not be giving the immediate tax discount anymore. Instead, it's gonna be a refund system at the airport. So you need to like gather all your receipts and kind of like scan them somewhere in the airport, I guess. The details aren't really out on it yet. But yeah, tax-free is good, especially because the yen right now is weak, as we all know, probably. It's like 150 into the dollar or something. So that's super great. I know a lot of people right now are taking advantage of this by buying like luxury goods like Louis Vuitton here, things like that, or just expensive stuff in general, so go for that. Live your life. Next, how to actually pay for things. This is also a very hot topic on tourism videos on YouTube. Do you need cash? Yes, absolutely. Do not come to this country without cash. I would generally say always have at least 10,000 yen on you, and you need to be making sure you're carrying denominations of 1,000 yen bills and 100 yen coins whenever possible. You're just gonna need these for like random things like vending machines or coin lockers, things like that. Yes, cash is still king in most of Japan. However, cities like Tokyo, things are changing to a lot more cashless, especially since COVID. Touch-based payment has grown a lot, and in Tokyo at least, almost everywhere is gonna accept card, but not everywhere, and that's why you need the cash. And also if you go places like in Kyoto or rural places, a lot of the local stores and restaurants are only going to take cash. So how do you get your hands on this cash? You can withdraw in advance at a bank, I'm sure you know how, or do it at the airport. Or what I honestly recommend is just withdrawing like maybe like 20,000 yen worth, and then just withdrawing it from 7-Eleven ATMs in Japan as you need it, you know, if you need to get more cash, because 7-Eleven ATMs do not charge extra for foreign cards and they're everywhere. But what kinds of cashless payment are accepted? I just found this. I'll put it on the screen here. This is kind of displayed at most every store in Japan, what kind of payment methods they accept. So at the top, we have all the card types they accept. And if they do accept touch, it's gonna have the wavy things. But actually a lot of places in Tokyo still don't accept touch-based credit cards. I don't know why, so do carry your actual card on you. Then we have QR code payments, but if you're a tourist, unless you have WeChat Pay from China, then you can ignore this. And then we have electronic money. So IC, that includes Suica, so you can actually pay for a lot of things with the balance on your Suica card, either at konbini or even like proper like clothing stores, except IC too. But then down here is the most important part, because I know a lot of Americans especially, they want to use Apple Pay, and while some places here do have Apple Pay written, a lot of places just have Quick Pay and these other kinds of payment forms on there instead. Just say Quick Pay if you don't see the Apple Pay icon, but you do see the Quick Pay icon, because it's the same thing and it will accept your phone. I don't know why. So a lot of people also ask me where to buy souvenirs. This is really hard. I think you should just kind of buy local as much as you can. But if you are getting towards the end of your trip and you just need some general random stuff, the most popular answer to this is going to be Donkey, which I'm sure you've seen online, I'm sure you've seen on TikTok. It is a huge mega store all around the country. It's very overstimulating and very crowded, and it is cheap, but yeah, it's a lot. What I prefer personally is Loft or Hands. They are a little more expensive, but it's a lot better curated and laid out. And these stores especially have a lot of really good gift items. Like you could spend all afternoon. Or if you're really just looking for some cheap, like random stuff to hand out, then you could just go to the drugstore and buy some Kit Kats, or go to Daiso. The ones in the tourist areas especially will have like a souvenir section for foreigners to bring back to their home country. So while you're doing all your shopping, you're gonna want to stay connected the whole time. So you can Google Translate the labels deals, look up reviews, etc. So that is why I'm happy to say the sponsor of today's video is Saily. If you don't know already, Saily is a new eSIM service app brought to you by Nord Security, and eSIMs like Saily let you stay connected while you're traveling without having to rely on spotty Wi-Fi networks. Because what an eSIM like Saily does is it just connects you to local cell phone towers and it keeps you connected your whole trip. It is great. No need to carry around like pocket Wi-Fi or anything like that. It takes up space. And the best thing about Saily is it is super easy to use and install on your phone. All you have to do is download the app, which you can do so through this QR code right here on the screen. Next, you're going to want to choose what region or country you're going to be traveling to, and they have over 200 destinations available, so chances are you're covered. Even if it's not Japan, I forgive you. And then you're gonna wanna choose how much data you need. Always get more data than you think you need. I promise you, you're gonna use up all your data. And then finally at checkout, just enter my code at Allison in Tokyo, buy the eSIM, install it on your phone, and then just activate it before you go to your destination, before you get on the airplane. And then once you land, your phone is just gonna seamlessly connect to the local cell networks. You're not gonna have to worry about finding airport Wi-Fi first or anything like that. It is seriously that easy. I use Saily every time I travel. You see me going to Korea for all those concerts. This is what I'm using, guys. So again, when you do go to buy your eSIM, make sure you're using my code at Allison in Tokyo at checkout to get an exclusive deal of 15% off your first purchase. Or you could download the app through my link here at saily.com/Allison in Tokyo. Now let's talk about clothes. Before we get into sizing, I wanted to make some brief notes on the general shopping experience in Japan. First, when you enter a fitting room, you're gonna be expected to take your shoes off almost always. There's either gonna be like a rug or like a ledge that you need to kind of step up onto to get into the fitting room. Also, if you're a woman and you are trying to try on a shirt or a dress, they're probably gonna hand you a face cover, or it's gonna be in the fitting room already. You like kind of pull this over your head, and it's to prevent like makeup transfer. Something else I don't remember seeing in the US that much is that most local brands that aren't like a Uniqlo, H&M kind of thing are probably only gonna have like their display and try on pieces out front. And then when you go to the register to actually buy the item, they're gonna give you a brand new one from the back. Also, some places, sometimes they kind of expect you to come out of the fitting room and like show the staff your fit. It's like super awkward, but I think they just do it like to hype you up so they can convince you to buy it. And I don't know how to figure out when they're gonna do this still. I don't know. You just kind of have to read the vibe and see if they knock on your door while you're mid-changing and asking how it looks, like they're your mom. Okay, so sizing. I know. I need you to really put your expectations for sizing in Japan to be like small. Not just Japan, but like all of East Asia, basically. The sizing is smaller. I'm sure you've heard this before, but I'd go further than that to say that they don't really account for body types at all. Like they kind of expect everyone to just be a rectangle, like a flat rectangle. There's no like this. So sizing is basically really just off your height. They expect everyone to have the same body type and be basically the ideal weight for that height. So for example, a small is probably for a woman who is 155 centimeters, medium 160, large 165. Usually it's just these three sizes for tops, for jackets, for dresses, for pants, for skirts. There's very little numbered sizing. If ever, it'll just be for pants usually. And even then, usually just like jeans, like for the waist measurement, because they expect everyone to have the same body type. So I'd say you could kind of prepare for most stores to carry up to a Japanese large. We're gonna go into that in a minute. But a lot of the more trendy stores won't carry a large. I don't know why. And also like what this size actually means for small, medium, large totally depends on brand. Like some places only carry small and medium, but the medium actually fits like a medium and a large. You know what I mean? So how big are things? Okay, so let's take Uniqlo for example, because they're all over the world. I compared some US and Japan items that are the exact same item right now on their website, and basically everything is marked down a size in the US. So what is sold as a medium-sized skirt in Japan is a small in the US. I would say, yeah, basically everything here is gonna be 1 to 2 sizes down from US sizing. It just depends on the brand. But not only this, places like Uniqlo, while they may carry larger sizes in the US, in Japan, for example, jeans cap out at a 28-inch waist. Yes, a 28-inch waist. Like most stores do not carry above that. Uniqlo, at least, and like GU will carry like extra larges too in a lot of items. So this can get up to like a 31-inch waist. Also, if you do have longer limbs, like I do, you are in for a treat. So this shirt that I'm wearing right now is a large from Uniqlo. I'm 166 centimeters for reference, like 5'5". This is a large shirt. And like if I put my arm up, there's a gap here. So I could go to an XL for the length, but then like it won't fit me the rest of my body. I don't know. That's just clothes here. You get used to that very quickly. Also, I'm talking about things in women's term because I am a woman and I know most people who are interested in shopping are women, but everything I'm saying applies to men too. Men here are shorter and smaller. But yeah, outside of Uniqlo, things can get small. And like the trendier the brand is and like the younger the demographic is, the smaller the same size will be. So like a medium at Uniqlo and a medium in like some trendy young person brand are not going to be the same. And one very fun feature of Asian clothing shopping is free size, which I don't think really exists that much in the US. So it just means it's one size. There's no variation at all. Don't bother asking. And a lot of places are like this. Like there's so many places that only have free size clothing, or like half of the things they carry are free size. How big that can go is totally like dependent. So like this dress I'm wearing right here is free size. There's just one size like this. This is the limit. I'd say usually this is a Japanese medium or a US small, but some brands, just depends on the brand. The free size will kind of be very like loose. So it could actually fit like up to a US medium too. It just depends. I know. It's frustrating. So yeah, trendy places, they're probably gonna carry free size only, or a small, medium, large situation, or just a small, medium. Just depends. Also shoes. Yeah, small. Since I've moved here, they are expanding the sizing. Things are getting better, guys, I promise. So first of all, look up your shoe size, because in Japan it's all off centimeters. But a lot of places just carry shoes in a small, medium, and large. Shoes. Some places do carry double large or XL or something, which is what I am usually, because I am a size 8.5 or a 25.5 in Japan, which is like the LL size here. And if you're bigger than an 8.5, I'm sorry, it's gonna be really hard. Like I already struggle a lot. This is also true for socks. A lot of them are only one size and they only go up to like a US size 7. I don't know why. That's just the reality here, guys. I don't know. I'm not in charge of the malls. Also, you can look at men's stuff too, especially things like GU. They do a lot of unisex advertising for like men's items. Like they're very explicitly aimed at men and women, pants and shirts. Okay, so what store do you actually shop at? All right, look, Uniqlo's good, but honestly, if you have it at home, I don't know, you can kind of skip it, I think. You know, like, I don't know. And I've already mentioned it, but Uniqlo does have a sister store called GU. This is a trendier, younger demographic version of Uniqlo. All those clothes are cheaper and they're also cheaper quality. It's kind of like an H&M level store, I guess. That being said, I buy a lot of things there. But yeah, maybe you don't know exactly the name of stores you want to shop at. I recommend honestly just looking around. Like just go to a mall and walk around. Malls are very much alive here. They get very crowded on the weekend. They are really good for finding new brands. One of my favorites is Sunshine City in Ikebukuro. This also has a Pokemon Center and a One Piece store and like a bunch of stuff like that. And they have a lot of really good clothing brands aimed at women in their 20s, mostly I'd say. But there's also these really big department store chains all over Tokyo you probably don't know about if you're just a tourist. The number one for me is gonna be Lumine. They usually have a lot of trendy stores, and like there's like 3 or 4 in Shinjuku now, like go to Lumine Est. There's also Parco, which is really good as well. And then also Marui is in about the same line as that. And then there's some other ones like Takashimaya, Keio, Seibu, but these are kind of more expensive and they're aimed at a bit more older crowd. Personally, I like Lumine, Parco, Marui. They're very good if you don't know where to go. But let's say you kind of want more like underground or like street Harajuku kind of fashion. So I've said this in a lot of other videos, but Takashita Street kind of sucks now. Like there's some stuff on it, but I personally don't think it's worth braving the mess that it is, and it's all like tourist traps. But there is actually a mall right outside Takashita Street called La Forêt. Has a lot of really niche fashion brands, and also you can just kind of walk around Ura Harajuku area. It is becoming more touristy, but there's still like some good fashion finds in there, and also Cat Street from Harajuku to Shibuya. Or you can go to the always classic Shibuya 109. Most of the brands in here are aimed at like lower 20s, I'd say, but it is still very popular, very crowded. But honestly, some common local brands that I like that you can find in like any mall in the country almost. I'm just gonna name some off. So when I was in like high school, college, I really liked Wego. This is a really big store here for that age group, and it's really cheap and trendy. I also like Earth Music and Ecology. It's trendy, but it's also very feminine. Nico and is very unisex, casual fashion that pays really close attention to like trends still. Lowry Farms is very wearable, kind of like everyday women's fashion, I'd say. And then SM2 and Echo Sopo. If you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you probably know these brands, but they're like cottagecore feminine, I'd say. And the sizing, even if it is one size, it's actually quite like loose. You know what I mean? Like a wide size range can fit. Another one aimed at like mid to lower 20s is probably Heather. Then for more casual, we have Freak Store, Mousy, I don't know how to say it still. This is very popular store here. And also Genesis. I don't know how to say anything. Genesis. It's like really casual, trendy, grungy kind of vibe. Next, cosmetics. So some things to note while shopping for cosmetics here is that shades are very light. They do not carry extensive shade ranges for most brands outside of maybe like Decourt and Shiseido. And on that note, those two brands I just mentioned are higher end cosmetic brands, I'd say. So department stores, like usually the first floor is gonna be like the makeup floor. Like this is still super big here, guys. So like there's a bunch of makeup counters for the different brands. So if you're looking for higher end makeup, this is a great place to go, but they do also carry a lot of Western makeup. So they do have shade ranges. Then below that, there is the drugstore kind of middle range. And from here on out, you're not gonna get many shade varieties at all. There's so many brands. You just kind of need to go to like any drugstore, you'll see them. But there's like XL, Kate, Maquillage I like. And then we have the low end. So we have like Cezanne and Can Make, where the makeup's like $4 or $5. So where to buy, I just mentioned it, but what I personally buy, like all my makeup, is usually just at the drugstore. Like if you go to like a bigger drugstore, they have everything you need. I think the most common answer on like Traveler, influencer, YouTube or whatever is Donkey, which is great because you can find like everything you need in one store, but it's kind of a lot for me and it's really crowded, and you can basically find almost everything there at the drugstore. And aside from this, I also really like Ein's Tulp, I don't know how to pronounce anything. And then Loft, very good. And at Cosme. At Cosme is very special because they do actually have a lot of different stores around like Tokyo, for example. And now they have a massive one in Harajuku. But I really like this store because it's actually a website, like this big website in Japan where people review and kind of rank makeup and cosmetics, skincare, things like that. So if you go to these at Cosme stores too, they usually have like displays that kind of show the rankings of different categories of products, which I think is really great if you're just a tourist who, you know, doesn't really want to do all the research in advance and just kind of grab what's popular. This is how you do it really easy. Or you could go look on their website. I do think they have an English version. I use this website all the time before I buy anything here. Okay, that was really long. So that's my shopping video, guys. I could talk about shopping forever. Like there's so many categories of shopping, and Japan really is a great place for shopping. Be careful though. The amount of money you spend is gonna sneak up on you. Trust me. So thank you so much for watching the video. Please leave a like and leave a comment down below. Let me know what tip you like the most, or if you have any recommendations for shopping or a favorite brand. And please subscribe to the channel for more videos about traveling and my life here in Japan. And I'll see you guys back here again soon. Bye!